Mr. Reiner. Are you here to support anyone special tonight?
Yes, everybody. I'm here for two people mainly, but also for Sherwood Schwartzman. I don't know that well. But Larry Gelbart, who I've worked with many times, we did a movie together called Oh God, and we worked together on the old shows. No, Larry Gelbart and we're old friends, and I admire his brain so much, and I'm saying it's a long time coming. He should have been the first Hall of Famer. He's got the wit of a Jonathan Swift. I mean, he's our greatest satirist, I think, in America today, one of our greatest satirists. And also B. Arthur, who she and I played husband and wife on the old Sid Caesar show in 1955. So I have two people I'm dying to see get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, what was your greatest moment in television?
My greatest moment was a long moment. It was about 6 years, because when I created the Dick Van Dyke Show and produced it and wrote it for 5 years, 158 shows, that I think was the height of my television success.
Oh, that was my favorite show. I loved it. Okay. So what projects do you have coming up?
What pleasures do I have now?
What projects are you working on?
Right now, I've got two books coming out in March. A novel, two novels. One called Just Desserts, and the other one called Carl Reiner's novel Beginnings. So I have two of them coming out. And I just reissued they're reissuing my first novel, Enter Laughing, which is now a musical on Broadway. And I just read it. I mean, I read it on tape for people to listen to. So I'm doing that a lot. I read all of my books on tape, which is the fun part.
Oh, that's great. Well, how can we get hold of the books on tape?
In the bookstores, Phoenix, they'll come out in February. Oh, Phoenix Books has them all, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And are your two books that are coming up, are they, one is obviously an autobiography?
No, an autobiography I wrote a few years ago called My Anecdotal Life, a slight part. The new reissue of Enter Laughing is what I call a bio novel. It's about my life when I was 17 years old and breaking into show business. So that's like a half biography. Yeah.
Well, what advice would you give to someone who's breaking into showbiz today?
Get on the stage wherever it is. Get in front of a camera. Go to a church. Amateur production of anything. Just be seen by somebody who can say, hey, I like that person. He belongs in something I'm about to do. Be seen.
Okay. Well, since you're a genius, what do you think of today's television, the reality shows?
Well, the reality shows bother me because it takes up the air of people who would be writing creatively wonderful plays. I mean, years ago, people like Horton Foote, who just wrote a brilliant Broadway show. He used to write for television. He used to write on Playhouse 90. Every 10th or 15th week, he'd write a play. And there was room for them, hour-and-a-half show. CBS had a thing called Playhouse 90. Now, if we have a 22-minute half hours are only 22 minutes. The rest is all commercials. And we have Mr. Ronald Reagan to thank for that. He said, we don't have to have any constraints on the airwaves. You let them take whatever they want. He took off there used to be 27 and a half minutes were allotted by the government because they said people own the airwaves. And so only a minute and a half every half hour was used for commercials. And Reagan deregulation is the word I was. He said, Reagan deregulated. I've been mad at him ever since because now when I watch a television show, I'm seeing 20 minutes. It's now down to 20. 22 minutes. You can't write even a half-hour comedy in 20 minutes. You don't have time for beginning, middle, and ends. I hated to do that. I know some people love Mr. Reagan. He's a nice guy, but he did a bad thing for television.
Yeah, well, we agree. Okay, thank you.